All right. Welcome home, Bitcoin truth seekers. It is Sunday, October 17th, 9:02 a.m. here in the Arizona desert. Here's the cool little intro. Sorry you can't hear that. It'd be cool if you could. Anyway, looking at bitcoindailyview.com, got more for you there as always. Let's look at the crypto market for the last hour. In general, it's a bit red. A little bit of red, a little bit of green. Some things are trying to move. Bitcoin is sideways. A lot of the alts are sideways. I'm not seeing any tremendous pumping by the alts today. Let's keep moving along here. Checking out the volume last 24 hours for Bitcoin. Just 3 billion. Let me actually refresh that. Looking at just 3 billion, 1.7 or 1.8 of that on Binance. Nobody else showed up for a billion. Coinbase, half a billion. So anyway, volume this Sunday is very, very low. And I didn't look at spot trading volume. Let's actually look at that too. Let me pull that up here. Sorry to keep you waiting here, but I think it's kind of important. I wasn't going to bother looking at it, but I think I will. Where's that? Sorry, I should have my act together better before I fire things up. Anyway, where's that at? I know I've got it here. Here we are. While that's pulling up, let's look at longs versus shorts sentiment today on Binance. For Bitcoin, longs 58%, shorts 41%, so a slight long bias. Looking at Ethereum on Binance, longs versus shorts, 67% long, 32% short, so definitely a strong long bias for Ethereum. All right, looking at spot trading volume of all pairs on Binance, 17 billion. That's nothing, and down 36% last 24 hours. Basically, that is just dribble volume. That is nothing. That's incredibly low. You want to see at least 70 billion for derivatives or short or leverage, basically. And we're at 47 billion, down 36% on derivatives. So spot and derivatives way low on Binance across all the big exchanges. Looking at retail volume for Bitcoin, 3 billion, 0 going on. So we definitely had quite the run up towards the end of last week, but now we are sideways and ain't nobody doing nothing. At least retail traders are just sitting on their hands, although somebody did buy a tremendous amount of SHIB just today or yesterday. Oh my gosh. Looking at this, this is the Epoch Times, a great little paper. You can still get it on paper. They send it to you, but you can subscribe to the site, and it's cool. Very cheap. And prices are continuing to surge. Here's what's becoming the most expensive. So this is looking at this time last year and comparing prices. So gas up 42%, meats, poultry, fish, and eggs up 10%, propane, kerosene, and firewood up 27%. So something to keep in mind. Hey, if you are a griller, get yourself an extra thing of propane, or also if your house is warmed by that, get yourself some. Some people's fridges run on it. If you got an RV, whatever. If you use if you use propane, get some. Fuel oil, 42%. Bacon and similar products, 19%. Not sure how they really divide, or looking at meats, poultry, fish, and eggs, and bacon and similar products, or whatever. Uncooked beefsteaks, 22%. New cars and trucks, I think they're up way more than 8.4%. And then used cars and trucks up 24%. I would say they're more than 24%. And try to buy a used car right now. They are seriously hard to come by. Rental cars up 42%. I buy that. And all these prices, honestly, they look low, especially rent. Are you kidding? Only up 3%. Whatever. So just something to think about. Bitcoin hedge against this massive inflation. We're seeing hyperinflation. It's not transitory inflation. Transitory just means when it stops, it will raise less if it ever stops. Anyway, we're in a shitstorm, people, and I'm glad you're here for the peaceful revolution. With that said, pandemic wiped out entire savings of 20% of U.S. households. This is over at Zero Hedge, and I read this, and it's kind of the title is sort of misleading. I could go through it and point out things in general. I mean, it's a lot of good data. It's over there at Zero Hedge. You can just search for it. In general, in summary, people just spent a lot of their savings over the pandemic, and that's all. So with the world falling apart, yes, yet the peaceful revolutionaries are going to do better and better in the midst of all the chaos. Check this out. The Survival Doctor's Complete Handbook, What to Do When Help is Not on the Way. I'll link to this over at bitcoindailyreview.com later, but also you can you search for it there on Amazon. This is great. It's really EMT like first aid as far as using tourniquets and et cetera, et cetera. It's very, very good, but also it kind of covers what happens when immediate help is not going to be on the way. Let's say you got a compound fracture. How do you treat that while, well, maybe help is a long ways away? Anyway, this is a profound book. It's not very big. It's to the point. It's amazing. If you read this, you're going to know a lot. Worthwhile getting for sure. Anyway, I'll link to it over at bitcoindailyreview.com. With that said, I'm going to look at some chats here. Rise and shine. Hello, everybody. Also, while I'm here live, if anybody's wants me to chart anything, or if they have any cool charts of their own they want to share, or they have any cool news stories, fire them up. I'm going to try to get back to doing this every day. I've been busy basically. I haven't been able to hang out. But with that said, I will schedule these ahead of time so that you can set the reminder and feel free to drop stuff in that you think might be interesting to share with the greater community. All right, looking at Bitcoin versus USDT here on the weekly, we have this beautiful weekly MACD that is just glorious. It's wonderful. As you can see, I mean, very, 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 very obviously, we're flirting with recent all-time highs. Got to break above those. That's what's going to happen. I think a lot of people really are just, well, it pumped this week. Now it's just kind of chilling, going sideways, and people are just kind of sitting on their hands right now. I think really when we break past the all-time highs recently of 63 or 4K, once we get past that and find support and start moving up, I think that's when you're going to see a lot more money just pouring in. I don't really know why we're having such little volume right now. Maybe people are just happy. They don't want to buy at the top. That could very well be it. Anyway, but check out this. The daily MACD is glorious. So again, very, very positive daily MACD. You can see yesterday and today, slightly down days, obviously, but well above the 3 moving average. We had that beautiful golden cross a little while ago when the 50 crossed the 200 moving average. This is just a great, great, great chart. It just seems like the world's kind of taking the weekend off and waiting for Monday. But how is Monday shaping up? Looking at the 45-minute chart here for Bitcoin, anyway, it's definitely on this slight downwards trend, or you could also just say it's in an accumulation phase. I mean, these do certainly happen. And if we look, I know the past does not necessarily dictate the future, but still, look at this pattern that we see. You kind of pump, and then you take off. You kind of pump, then you sort of chill out a little bit, boom. Then you pump again, then you pump again. I'm showing like the dump part, like where you go into some consolidation modes. We pump this nice pump here. So really, if you look, it's always this. You can kind of see. Can you see the pattern here? I mean, I know I certainly do, and I'm not that incredibly observant, and I see it. So, what I would expect is just like you saw back here. Boom. Now we move into that phase. You have your little consolidation, little sideways action, and then look what happens. So whoa. So that I'm moving a little bit slow today. But there you go. Boom. So most likely, what's going to happen next? We could almost sit there and get the forecast tool and look at the average gains after each of these, pullbacks, these consolidations, and then figure we're going to see it again. So anyway, the all-time highs, getting past those, I think that's going to be what Monday is really about. Maybe even late tonight, like 3 o'clock in the morning, 4 o'clock in the morning, Monday morning. Let's just see. We got to get past recent all-time highs, and I think then we are on the way. It's rather strange. It's rather extraordinary after so much gains towards the end of the week to see like this volume. This volume is just it's just completely not happening. So the world is asleep. Bitcoin right now is definitely consolidating, but it's doing a typical movement that we've seen before. And now if it cranks again, well, we will break those all-time highs like nobody's business, bam, that will happen. So 45-minute chart, well above the 200 moving average, moving up. All these indicators look like they're kind of in recovery mode. Bitcoin has been a bit weak, but it is right in the middle of the RSI channel. I don't see any reason why it should pump or dump right now. It's going to go sideways until it decides to do something, but there is that bit of a wedge pattern that you can see that I kind of had going before I deleted it, but I think we actually just kind of broke to the negative side of that. But anyway, yeah, I don't know. Can I really work with this? I think so. Let's just see. I mean, regardless of how we look at it, it does look like we're in a bit of a wedge pattern there. So Bitcoin has to break out and do something, probably, if it respects that wedge pattern, which it does not have to. Anyway, sorry, I'm feeling a bit low energy this morning. SHIB versus USDT. Everybody loves it. Actually, you know what? Before we move on, let's look at Bitcoin on the 4-hour chart. That is a very, very powerful time frame for Bitcoin. Well above the 200. It's just cooling off right now. These indicators look very good to me. You can see the directional index is beginning to, it's trending down. ADX is going up though, which just means that we're getting some velocity downwards. Squeeze indicator is definitely showing upwards velocity because it's cooling off also. The KRI is green, but trending down. Let me actually get my one indicator back here. Wave trend oscillator by Lazy Bear, an incredible indicator. It's showing that we're kind of pumped out and need to come down a bit. So the 4-hour chart, wave trend oscillator, waves by Lazy Bear, linked over at bitcoindaily.com. Very, very powerful on the 4-hour chart. I know some true seekers who trade only on that, and they make bank, so they're doing pretty good. Looking at the stochastic RSI here on the 4-hour chart, we are down here in the basically oversold. I'm sorry, oversold territory, and the tangent now is cranking up. So definitely could see some upwards movement there. But of course, it is in conflict with the stochastic, but with the wave trend oscillator by Lazy Bear. So boom, it says we're going down. Anyway, strong 4-hour chart. Also note that we're at the top here of the RSI cave. So we kind of bounce against the top of that. You're always going to stay right within that. The RSI cave is very amazing. I linked it over. You can just search for RSI cave. Mine's a little bit tricked out. This is actually one from the crew over at Blockchain Education. This one's a bit tricked out, but you can go to TradingView and just search for RSI cave. There's a good number of them out there. I find that the better they're rating, the better they are. But anyway, this one's pretty good. I'll link to my favorite, some of the ones that aren't blockchain education specific over at bitcoindaily.com. I'll let you guys know when I do it. But the RSI cave is very, very powerful. It's kind of like Bollinger Bands, but not exactly. It's based on the RSI. So just like you're never going to stay too far from the moving 8, this red moving average here, you are not going to really break too far above the or below the RSI cave zone. You can kind of look at that historically. The best place to be is right in the middle and moving up, so anyway, good to go. You can see how it's very effective here. We did break above. We really pushed hard. Now we're kind of consolidating sideways here on the 4-hour chart. Stochastic RSI says it's time to turn up. Indicators look good in general, but the rather harsh tutelage of the wave trend oscillator by Lazy Bear says, no, we're trending down, but watch for that tangent to start moving towards a positive cross of the signal. And we might be in Lambo territory. We are basically, there's a psychological barrier at 60K, just like there's a 50, 40, and 10K. There's these barriers. So we're playing with that. We're playing with the barrier of previous all-time highs. This week's going to be interesting. Anyway, Shiba Inu, it's been doing phenomenally the last couple weeks. I mean, that's rather obvious. I'm just going to point. I'm pointing to this one a lot. But anyway, as you can see, looking beautiful. Now, looking beautiful here, but it's definitely been cooling off. It really made a serious run recently, and it's a great little coin, great project. I mean, it's kind of what Doge will never be, and I think a lot of the Doge action is kind of moving over to Shiba Inu because now they have a decentralized exchange. They've got staking. I mean, it's just they really came out of the. It's almost like all the hopes and dreams of Doge, what it could be, which I don't see the development team really being that on fire. Bunch of friggin' like flip-flop wearing chubby mouth breathers. I just don't see them ever really having, the desire to make it happen. But SHIB was a bunch of really motivated, like ex-Navy SEAL types, you know, who are just like, yeah, and they just friggin' forked something, and they're making this shit happen out of the gate. So SHIB, I'm gonna probably, you know, mention it all the time. I know it pisses some people off. You should hear some of the disparaging shit that people comment, and I don't care. You want to call me a friggin' shill? I don't give a shit. I think SHIB is great. I think it's something to watch right now. After really pumping recently, it's consolidating. It's going sideways. It's a big accumulation phase. I've been watching the order books. There's some big buys that have been rolling in. So, you know, personally, I have some indicators, some alerts out there. I'm watching for the a 15-minute cross the 200 moving average is a big one. Also a 30-minute cross the 200 moving average and a 45-minute cross the 200 moving average. I think once SHIB starts to run again, you know, make way. We definitely have been cooling off recently, but the development is on fire for SHIB. The community is inside. There's nothing that has a community like Shiba Inu does, and it's so I'll stop, you know, caterwauling about it. But I'll be watching it. I've already made so much friggin' money off of it that I just don't even care anymore. Even if it stopped making money now, I've done quite well. So with that said, but I think, you know, this is one of those coins that could X many times in a damn hurry. Just search SHIB, look at it, and I mean, they came out of the gate pretty much with a decentralized exchange, and it does work. I mean, they're doing so much crap. Just I can't even keep up with it. It's phenomenal. Doge. I think 24 cents is a big support and resistance for Doge. Its chart's looking pretty good. 45-minute chart here. It's been challenging, and it broke above the 200 moving average. It's been kind of riding the 314. It broke above that. Now it's below it. 24 cents is a big freaking deal, as you can see. And I could, if I was to pull out of this chart in and make my GPU blow up, you would see that 24 cents has been a big deal. 24 cents is just kind of it's this magical spot for it. If I see it's right in the middle of the RSI cave right now. Indicators basically show a bit of a cool off. It has been running up. I'm really watching for a break above 24 cents, and you know, some strong indicators, which I think are really, honestly, let me see if I can pull in here. Looking at all my little indicator magic things, unfortunately, my little squeeze doesn't work for it. But KRI is about to turn up. It's got Scar's in the right spot. Wave trend oscillator by Lazy Bear shows still trending down a little bit. Let's look at a 4-hour chart. Yeah, on the 4-hour chart, we're above the 200 moving average. Basically, we're ranging between the 314 and the 200 moving average. We're in the middle of the RSI K. These indicators look like kind of a sideways action. I'd be watchful if they can break above 24 cents, which really is only right. It's really right below the 314 moving average on the 4-hour chart. Watch this coin. Watch Doge. You know, even if we just got back to, let me find a forecaster here. Even if we just got back to recent highs, even if we got back to recent highs, I mean, like, which would be no problem. That's 44%. So, you know, watch this one. I think Doge might be shaping up. I think it might be getting ready to do a little bit of action. Looking at Solera, you know, Solera is a big player in the NFT market right now. A lot cheaper than using Ethereum. I think in the end of 2021 and 2022, I mean, Ethereum and Bitcoin, Bitcoin and Ethereum are still the big dogs, but start watching Sol to make a run against Bitcoin. Against Ethereum, especially in the NFT market. So this guy's doing good. It broke above the super moving average not too long ago, back on the 14th of October. This thing is still moving up. It broke the 200 and 314 all in one shot. So it got a little blue diamond merit badge. It pumped. It kind of held it. It's in general uptrend. It took a little bit of a dump today. Indicators show now the directional index is green. Is red. Squeeze indicator shows a cool off. KRI is going down. Anyway, so it's definitely cooling off. But as you can see, while it's been going sideways, it's definitely been a little bit, violent. Up and down, these boom, 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 very, very jaggedy. So I would expect now, if these indicators begin to turn up, we're going to see a little upwards movement. And then also, of course, we're right in the middle of this of the RSI cave, above the 200 moving average and 314 moving average, 45-minute chart. Sol's looking very, very strong. It definitely had a downtrend for a while, where it really got its butt kicked, especially with that security issue that they had. I forget what happened, but they had some kind of problems. 4-hour chart. above the 200 moving average towards the upper side of the RSI cave. And also, I mean, the directional index here is looking great. ADX is starting to get around 20. 4-hour chart, if we can see this squeeze indicator turn around, that definitely could. KRI is in the right spot. Dang, after this terrible ass hammering that it got, whatever problem it had, you can see it really, bam, that was pretty terrible. But it just looks like to me, we're in another slight downswing after that pump, and boom. So it looks like we're getting to ready to move again. So watch Sol versus USDT for some action this Monday. I'm going to be watching that one. Anyway, let's look here. Let's refresh this real quick. Is there anybody making big moves before we go? FTM and hot. FTM. Oh, and see, nothing looks too interesting. I'll look at one real quick here. One versus USDT. It's on Binance and KuCoin. It's one of the things I like about it. I've kind of been on KuCoin a lot more recently because Binance is a pain in the ass for US users. One versus USDT, 4-hour chart. Wow, bounced off the 200 moving average, well above, looking nice and jagged, looking sideways. Wow. We just got a little pump here on the squeeze indicator. Directional index is looking good. KRI's on the way up. Looking at a 4-hour chart for one. There was a 4-hour chart. Looking at a 45-minute chart. 45-minute chart, immediate price action. We just broke above the 314 and the 200 twice. Quickly, it's getting, look at that, it just came down, made a bounce off the 200 moving average on the 45-minute chart. This is one to watch. I like it. Let's look back at that 4-hour chart. Is this coming off a downtrend? No, it's just been cruising along for quite a while. Let's see, it's making a recovery. Is that what it is? Yeah, so I like it. Nice looking chart. Kind of, let's see what happens. I mean, looking at that, looks like looking at the chart from this angle here in the 4-hour, zooming out a ways, looks like we might be getting ready for a turn up. I'll be watching one versus USDT for sure. And something that I don't want to forget, it's easy to forget these days, is Ethereum. Ethereum versus USDT. I'll look at a 4-hour chart real quick here. Wow, Ethereum versus USDT. Nice for our chart. We broke above the 200 moving average way back on like the beginning of October. Been above. We cooled off some. Now we're cranking. Now we're cooling off. These indicators look pretty good. A lot of stuff is like this. It looks like maybe it's either going to, let's just watch. I'm looking at the charts that we're seeing and seeing what a lot of things are doing right now, like Doge, and looking at ETH now too. Wouldn't surprise me if just be watchful later on tonight and Monday morning for things to start making a run. Just be watchful. So Ethereum versus USDT 4-hour chart looks friggin' glorious. It's on a downtrend right now, slightly. Wait for those indicators to turn back up, and I think ETH versus USDT might be back in the game. You had to, looking at the 45-minute chart, it's over the 200 moving average and 314 moving average. It dumped a bit, but it didn't even challenge the 200 moving average. Watch this short time frame action here. It does look like. Let's face it, man. For Ethereum, if the market stays strong, Ethereum's going to be over 4K in no time at all. Is there anything else to look at? XRP versus USDT. Look at that over at Binance. How's that one doing? It's had a hard time recently, riding this 200 moving average. Good enough uptrend, bit of a dump this morning down to the bottom of the RSI cave, below the 200 moving average, but now it's fighting back. So a lot of things are doing that recently. Is there anything else badass to look at? No, I'm gonna leave it at that. I don't want to keep you here forever. I don't want to make this video 11 hours long. I'll get back to this daily. I will schedule them somewhat, not always at the same time, but we'll try to schedule them sometime between like 6 and 9 a.m. I'll let you guys know. I'll put it where I share it, and feel free to hop on. Feel free to send messages as far as stuff to look at. I would definitely look at it. News stories and charts, etc. Badass memes. So anyway, Satoshi, wielding the great shield of the Bitcoin daily view, kicking fiat money's ass. That's kind of happening. And I think that it becomes very, 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 very apparent when you look at this. Prices are continuing to surge. What's becoming the most expensive over here at Epoch Times. I'll link this over at dailyview.com also. So remember, this battle is real. I do think the peaceful revolution is at hand. I think it's happening. I'm glad you're here. I think the most physically, as far as power and force, and I think also spiritually, the most powerful thing you can do is even own one damn Bitcoin Satoshi, because for every Bitcoin Satoshi you own, a piece of shit, evil, friggin' child eating globalist piece of shit cries. Amen. See you tomorrow.